Well, good morning. Welcome back to Cityline. I'm already having a good time, so you really need to join me. With me on the comfy couch is an organization that has just sprouted wings. I found out about this organization probably about 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, maybe in there. And ever since then, they have been making inroads and providing our Pierce County with such beautiful education. I'm talking about Rebuilding Hope, Sexual Assault Center for Pierce County. And please join me in welcoming the effervescent Carlin Sampson. You are the Executive Director for Rebuilding Hope. Welcome, my dear.
Thank you. It's so good to be here.
It's good to have you here, and welcome back.
Thank you. I'm so excited.
Show us the shoes.
Oh, here you go.
Okay, let's see if we can get a shoe cam on this. You just hold it up there. They'll get to it and just, ta-da! Okay, can you? Yeah. Those things.
So good.
Those shoes are. I walk a mile in your shoes.
Yes, you can.
They do.
These are comfortable enough. You could.
Yes. The beautiful woman next to you, who is your deputy director, and also I get a sense she's a very good friend of yours as well. Yes. How lucky are you, Christina Lee? Welcome to Cityline.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
It's great to have you both in person.
Yes.
Okay, so Carlin, I know I gave an intro of Rebuilding Hope, but I know that you have it tattooed across your heart, the mission and the history of Rebuilding Hope. So please tell us.
Yes. So a little bit about the history first. Rebuilding Hope started as really a grassroots movement out of the Tacoma and then broader Pierce County community in the early 1970s. So you have grassroots activists creating makeshift offices and shelters out of their apartments and homes, makeshift hotlines out of their landlines and phone lines, just to finally bring formal sexual assault and rape services to Tacoma and Pierce County. It was formally incorporated by 1975 as what was known as Pierce County Rape Relief, and then now 50 years later continues to grow and expand on that mission and services for over 50 years under the name of Rebuilding Hope, the Sexual Assault Center for Pierce County. And our mission is to offer hope towards healing through advocacy and therapy for all who are impacted by sexual assault and abuse, through education and collaboration to improve the community's response to sexual assault and abuse victims, and then furthermore to challenge the behaviors and beliefs that promote sexual violence still today.
And what you said, the whole time I hung on to that word community, because Rebuilding Hope is a different kind of organization where you do educate the community, and you do provide services for everybody who is affected, not just the person that this happened to. We're talking about family, we're talking about everybody gets a chance to be educated.
Yes.
So how does the mission and Rebuilding Hope's work fit into our community ecosystem?
Yeah, this is really important because every state's a little bit different. In Washington state, every county or sometimes a collaboration of counties has to have a state accredited community sexual assault program dedicated to it. So here in Pierce County, that is Rebuilding Hope. In some counties, you have dual programs that house domestic violence and sexual assault together, but it's really important for us to distinguish that Rebuilding Hope has been and still is that standalone community sexual assault program accredited through Washington Department of Commerce, Office of Crime Victims Advocacy, to offer core and specialized sexual assault services to everybody who is a resident of Pierce County and experiences that violence, or who was assaulted in Pierce County.
Yes. Oh, there we go. You could be here on vacation.
Right.
And unfortunately have that happen to you. But you could have services. So speaking of services, beautiful Christina, give us an overview of Rebuilding Hope's services, because when you are there for the community, wow, get out the scroll. You must have services. So what comes to mind when I ask that question?
Yeah, well, Rebuilding Hope has 3 great major programs. So we have the advocacy program, which includes a 24/7 crisis and information referral crisis line.
Wow.
So anybody who has experienced or is currently experiencing any kind of sexual abuse or their families or friends who want to support anybody who has experienced sexual violence of any sort can call at any time, day or night, 365 days a year. So we have somebody answering those phones all the time. And We also have a advocate who is housed at the Child Advocacy Center, really focusing on child abuse and child sexual abuse cases,
Yes.
as well as our sexual exploitation advocate. And so really providing that intensive community case management for those who are experiencing or at risk for sexual exploitation. And we also have our therapy department.
Absolutely.
We have great therapists on staff who provide trauma-informed therapy to clients who are 13 years and older. And what's great about this program is that we don't age out anybody, you know, like clients,
Yes.
our services are all client-led and client-driven. And so as long as they need our services, we are going to be there for them. And then lastly, we have our prevention education program. And so we have great staff who go into the community, do prevention sessions and presentations to schools in the community, and just trying to bring awareness and education and knowledge to really share the information that we have, and to include subject matter such as like consent. What is consent?
Right.
And what is bystander intervention? What is considered healthy relationships, and online safety? So those are just a few of the topics that we share in prevention education.
A lot.
That's incredible.
Busy.
So as you were saying that, I was thinking to myself about how in COVID you must have had to adapt these services. So how did you adapt them in order to meet those needs?
Yeah, so I mean, like everybody else, we experienced challenges and barriers to the pandemic. And, you know, in 2020, all of our services were in person. And so what we were facing, a lot of our, you know, biggest struggles were how are we going to provide our services that were going to be the best for our clients if we can't do it face to face. And so this really created this opportunity actually to think creatively and out of the box, and created platforms so that we can actually increase access to services and decrease barriers to those who needed services. So we now offer remote services. We also offer telehealth,
Okay.
and even coming out of COVID, we're still being able to provide those services, and so it's really been great. It was a barrier, but it was a blessing in disguise kind of thing,
Absolutely.
where we were able to really just, you know, think of ways and strategize how can we get these services out to the community and to our clients, and now we have even more ways.
Absolutely. So, Christina, what are some of the key partnerships that Rebuilding Hope leads or participates in locally as we're starting to come out of COVID?
Yeah, so with city funding, we were able to develop a couple of years ago a commercial sexual exploitation collaborative. And so we work very closely with agencies in Pierce County, such as our Sister's House, Washington Trafficking Prevention, and Crystal Judson Family Justice Center.
Nice.
We're very, very closely together with them, really focusing on those youth that are at risk or are experiencing sexual exploitation. We also get state-specific funding, specialized funding with Multi-Care and the Child Advocacy Center, and we collaborate with Oasis Youth Center and
wonderful.
Hope Sparks,
Sparks,
to provide therapy and social work and advocacy
You
services.
guys are everywhere.
We try to be.
You are.
It takes a village.
It does take a
takes a
village.
village,
It absolutely does. Gosh, I have so much to ask you, and my time is starting to dwindle here. So I do want to ask you, Carlin, what are some common misconceptions people often have about the work, your work, or sexual violence, just in general?
In general, yeah. Some things we hear all the time is, I can't believe you do that work. Can anybody do that work? When there's really a lot more joy, happiness, moments of hope that come out of it than you would think. A lot of people think, well, this is a women's issue or an individual issue, and that's not the
think
case.
again.
We know at least on average, our own agency caseload is 15 to 20% comprised of male identifying individuals. And we know nationally, at least 50% of our trans and genderqueer community are going to be sexually abused in their lifetime. And it's not just an individual issue because people choose to commit these crimes against others, and communities create environments that allow that to happen. So we have to come together with collective accountability to fix that.
Yeah, we do. I'm going to give you the last 2 minutes to talk about why April is important and what's the big event we all have to know about.
Yes, so April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and I think it just hit its 26th or 27th anniversary being established as that awareness month for the country. So we always seize this month as an opportunity to engage just more intentionally as best we can with the community to raise visibility to the issue, to really strike out the stigma, the shame, the silence that really allow sexual violence to continue. We do a lot of more community engagement, outreach activities, and it's also the time of year where we call in the community and say, come talk about this. Let's not celebrate that this work has to exist, but that we get to be here to do this work together and to support your local sexual assault center. So on Friday, April 28th, from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Silver Cloud Hotel at Tacoma, Point Ruston, we're going to have our now second annual Spring Soiree. Kind of a fun happy hour, cocktail hour on steroids, lots of great raffle items, live auction, opportunities to meet programs directly, learn about rebuilding hope, learn about how we fit, like you said, in this community, this ecosystem, and answer a call to action so that we can continue to sustain and grow as the need and demand for service is continuing to grow in the community.
Everything in Pierce County is continuing to grow,
Continuing.
good and not so good. So we just need to be aware of that.
That's right.
We've been showing the website beneath both of your beautiful faces, and I'm assuming that's where we go to get tickets. I saw some early bird specials on social media.
Early bird does end this weekend on Saturday, April 1st. So today and tomorrow, the last chances to get tickets at those discounted prices. There's also really quickly, the Tacoma Rainiers are offering ticket proceed donations back to the agency if you purchase tickets in April and May, and Alma is going to be featuring some drink specials for promotional proceeds to the agency as well.
And there it is.
Yeah.
Thank you both so much for being here today, and for all the work that you do.
Of course.
And for your beautiful hearts.
Thank you so much.
I'll see you at the event.
You will.
All right.
You will.
When we come back, Asia Pacific Cultural Center will be in the house. You don't want to miss that. We'll be right back.